Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Muhi Khwaja at American Muslim Community Foundation, and today on the Muslim Philanthropy Podcast, we are enlightened to have on Hasan AlKurdi. He is the Executive Director at Syrian Forum USA. Welcome to the show, Hasan.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Tell everybody where you're located.
I live in Northern Virginia, Chantilly, exactly.
Wonderful. And, give our listeners a little bit of background about yourself, kind of how long you've been in the community there, and what positions you've held before joining Syrian Forum USA.
Yes, I'm a refugee. I'm Syrian refugee in the U.S. I came to the U.S. with my family, with my wife and four children, in 2014 through uh, the UN High Commissioner for Refugees. They located us in, they settled us in Arizona, Phoenix. We spent 1 year there. Then we moved to Northern Virginia because of my work. Uh, for the whole time when I first came to the US, I started working for a nonprofit who's taking care of some humanitarian causes related to Syria. That's because I'm Syrian and I know the cause exactly well, and I can manage in English and Arabic. So, and because I used to use my spare time for the whole my life to do something for Syrians. Before coming to the US, I spent 10 years in Kuwait. In Kuwait, I used to work as assistant manager in brokerage company in Kuwait Stock Exchange for 10 years. So it was in financial services. But when I came to the US, after discussion with some of my close friends, I decided to spend my spare time and my working time in our causes.
That's really beautiful. Um, Thank you for sharing that. In regards to Syrian Forum USA, can you share a little bit more about the history of the organization prior to your joining?
Yes, the organization activity started in 2011 and registered fully in 2013. And the work was mainly in Turkey and Syria, the part of Syria which is not under control of the regime. And in 2015, they registered fully in the US as Syrian Forum USA to try to have a good communication with Muslim community here and especially Syrian American communities. And the purpose of this communication to communicate what we did in the last 3 years from 2015 in Turkey and in Syria for Syrians in need, and to secure some individual donations for these projects. In Turkey, we registered in under six organizations. You can call it sister organizations, conglomerate. Each organization specialized in one aspect of our humanitarian developmental activities. For example, we have a program for Hasan for humanitarian and development inside Syria. We have risk for employing Syrians in Turkish market. We have Umran for research about policies related to Syria. And we have also Busla for capacity building and training for organizations and individuals in Syria and in Turkey. And we as Syrian Forum USA, we are communicating these activities and we are trying to see who's from the prospective donors share with us our vision to support us and support our programs.
That's really great. And with the various programs around, you know, professional development, business development, really empowerment in the community, um, and the support that you have coming from donors in the US, what would you like to say to those who are familiar with Syrian Forum USA and have been supporting for a few years?
Uh, for whom already supported us. Yes, I cannot. I cannot express my thankfulness or my gratefulness for them, because they trusted in us that much. That why I'm saying that, because the donation we are asking for is donation for general fund, not for specific projects. And the idea of this is that we as organization, we can work as engine, which can invest $1 and get $14 as outcome. And what we are trying to communicate, or what we communicated with our donors, that if you donate $1, we will show you the outcome as $14. Because when we take the $1, we will not go and buy food for needies, but we will go and spend this dollar to bring big grants from the global community to bring millions of dollars as food for community. So this is the idea that which is not that conventional here in the U.S., because uh, usually other organizations call to donate directly to the project itself, to buy a food basket, to buy blanket, to buy something directly. But we are
Right.
calling them to invest in our uh, individuals, in our human resources, so we can bring what can what is affordable to us from the global community. So this is why I respect them a lot, because they understood this and they trusted us enough to give us this generous donations they give us.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit more about the partnerships that Syrian Forum USA has in how you're able to leverage these grant dollars and institutions, you know, whether it's working with the UN or other World Food Program and other institutions to provide support?
Yes. Now, Syrian Forum USA is specialized in communicating with the individual donors in the US, but who's doing these grant grabbing from the from the global community are the organizations which are located in Turkey, especially Hasan, which is specialized in development and humanitarian projects inside Syria, and also other organizations there. So they could bring a lot of donation, or a lot of grants from UN institutions, from European uh, uh, European also institutions, and global humanitarian organizations, and also other big humanitarian organizations in the US. And maybe I should bring me with me the annual report to give you some specific names about these grantors.
Sure. And while you do that as well, you know, for those who are unfamiliar or don't know Syrian Forum USA as well, what would you like to share with people who are just learning about Syrian Forum USA today?
I will ask him to give us a chance to listen to them, and give us a chance to let us listen. I mean, I want to some time to listen to them,
Yeah.
what they want from me, what they are looking from us, and what they are vision for these kind of humanitarian causes. And I will need some additional time to let them listen to us, to our response, what we did and what we can do. So usually usually we ask the donor or the prospective donor to listen to us, but what I need really, I want to listen to them more. I want to listen to what they need, how they will support some causes like us. And these kind of communication, I think, which I request from anyone who wants to know about us, or who can give us some time uh, to give us advice how to deal with them and with their peers.
So there's a lot of humanitarian organizations and many that are passionate about helping the Syrian cause. So, in your experience and choosing Syrian Forum USA to work for and to partner with, what was it that made you interested in working at Syrian Forum USA?
Before joining Syrian Forum USA, I worked for another organization, Syrian American organization called Syrian Expatriates Organization. Um, to whom who know who knows a little bit about the Syrian, let's say, Syrian revolution and Syrian crisis, it began all in 2011. Before 2011, Syrians were not allowed to do this kind of organized work. Anyone who will do some kind of organized work with not under control of the government will get in trouble, in big trouble. And I'm one of them who get in trouble, and I got to the political prison in Syria in 2003, 2004.
Hmm.
So after 2011, many of Syrians tried to do something. So they, in the US, they tried to build nonprofit organizations. And in 2013, 2014, we got a lot of nonprofit organizations in the US, Syrian American organizations. And after a while, we discovered that we don't need that much of organizations and that we have to consolidate and unite our efforts. So the organization which I was in before it, which called Syrian Expatriates Organization, we uh, we agreed that we have to consolidate with other organization to consolidate our efforts and our work towards Syrian causes. And when we scan what we have here in the U.S., we found that Syrian Forum USA is the best choice because they have a high quality of work they are doing in their programs in Turkey and Syria, and they are doing their work in different way than the conventional way of others, which depend on getting donations just for direct aid, not for more long-term developmental projects. And this is why we decided as organization to merge with this organization, with Syrian Forum USA. And after that, they chose me to handle this organization in the US.
And for Syrian Forum USA to effectively, you know, lead the organization, and you said it takes a lot of resources to um, run the organization administratively, and then using the resources that are entrusted to Syrian Forum USA to search for international grants and more operational funding to get more partnerships on the ground in Syria. Um, why is it critical to work in this way as opposed to the traditional way?
First, because there's money on the table, no one is taking it, and you have to take it. There's money on the table in the global community, and regardless why we have this money on the table, but we have to take it because we are Syrians and we know our community. We understand the Syrian community very well inside Syria and in Turkey and other places. And we have to spend this money in the way the grantor are looking for. And usually the grantor will look for, usually most of these grants will go to the direct aid, which will help people live to another day, not to the next. So why to spend the money of individuals, of Syrian individuals, which is very scarce, to spend this money to feed Syrians inside Syria while we can get this money from the global community? So we didn't find that this is logical to take the money here, the $1, and spend it as $1 in food basket in Syria. But the wise way is to take this $1 and invest in it and bring $1,000 from the global community. In this way, this is logical that to let the Syrians here help Syrians there by doing this kind of investment to take the big money from the global community, not to spend this $1, the small $1, in in food directly. Now, many of donors maybe think that if they spend this $1 directly in food, it's better or more religiously comfortable for them, maybe. And we respect who do this and who like us to do this. But we always suggest that do it in this way, and let us invest this $1 to get 1,000, or exactly invest $1 to get 14,000 $14. And this is the equation we can succeed in getting it. We can invest $1 and get more than $14 as outcome from our project. I'm not sure if I answered your question or I
Yes.
missed something in it.
No, no, that makes sense to me. So, in terms of um, some of the stories of people that you're helping in Syria, of course, we know that the situation has been getting worse. But what are those stories of hope that you would like to share in terms of the impact that Syrian Forum USA has had?
Yes. Uh, Before answer this question, I want to I want to clarify some points which I missed to clarify at the
Sure.
beginning. Now, when you ask me why we chose this organization, I mean Syrian Forum USA, to work for, and I told you that not only me, I chose to work for this organization, but we merged some other organizations with this organization. This was not one example. It's three times. I mean, there are three Syrian American organizations who chose to merge with Syrian Forum USA, and we are one of them. We have two others who
Okay.
merged at the same time.
Hmm.
And if you ask, and if I want to clarify more why I go this way and why I'm thinking about the outcome or impact in this way, or investing the $1 to get $14 in this way, and I will let you know that maybe big part of it, not because only I'm Syrian and I see how big is the problem, and you cannot follow this problem and catch or solve it with just the individuals, but also because during my studies in UPenn, I told you that I was working in financial market before coming to the US. But when I
Hmm.
came to the US and started working for nonprofit, I started studying in the US for nonprofit. So I get a master from UPenn in nonprofit leadership, and also I followed some classes in Lilly School uh, for
Wonderful.
fundraising and these kind of things.
Yeah.
And all of them are thinking about that the impact. You have to think always about the impact, the final impact you are giving to the people, not just the output. I mean, you just give the money to get food or to get a blanket or to get something directly, and you calculate these numbers and give these numbers as big numbers and say I'm doing a big job. Now, in addition to this concentration of this organization on Syrian Forum Organization, and on the impact, also they are trying to get the quality high. For example, they have their auditor in Turkey is KPMG,
Yeah.
and you it's not usual to have nonprofit who will spend from their general fund on this,
Sure.
just to show that everything is going fine and you can trust us enough because we are getting everything done in properly. uh, so now I have to get back to your to your question, and I'm sorry for that. uh,
Thank you
if you
for
can
clarifying.
if you can if you still need some names, because I opened the names here in
Sure. Please share.
grantors, so I can give some names. We have Qatari, Hilal Ahmar Qatari. We have ACTED, CARE, Save the Children, UNICEF, WFP, OCHA, GIZ. All of them are grantor for us in Turkey.
Wonderful.
And you can also take a look on our annual report. The new annual report will be out in a few weeks, inshallah. So can you get me back to the track?
Yeah, of course. I thank you for going back and sharing who some of those organizations were. So the question was, um, there's so many ways to help Syria, and we know that the situation is very tough. And it's great to see the work that Syrian Forum USA is doing. So, can you share some of those success
Yes,
stories of hope,
yes,
of the impact that your work has
yes,
done?
yes. Now, there's many stories to share with you. Stories will show these great things which happening. Now, most of us, when we think about needy people, we think about these powerless people who cannot do anything, and we have to help them with very small things to live to another day, to eat, to cover themselves, to have some heat, and these kind of things. And we think about them that they are powerless, they cannot do anything. They maybe sometimes we think that they're almost useless. But when you deal with them and as human being who could you yourself who's living in the US got in this situation and got the same problems, if you think of them as you and your family as your family, you will see that many astonishing examples will come up. And I will give you just two examples. From inside Syria, we had we had several examples. One of them, I think her name is Muna. I'm not sure about the name, but I think her name is Muna. She used to live in Syria in conservative community in Syria, which usually don't like the woman to get some education like men. And because of our programs inside, we could help her to get some education. And then she showed that she has some managerial skills. So she led in her local council inside Syria, and now she get to the level of representing her group inside Syria in front of the UN, and she came
Wow.
and spoke in the UN. So from a woman who could be just in the kitchen to a woman who can speak about the nation in front of the UN, this is a big example. If you don't give them these programs, which is not only food, not only heat, it's food and heat, but you have to talk about education, skills, and empowering them to do what they can do. Just open the road for them and they will go and they will fly. This is one example. Another example about our program in Turkey. So in Turkey, we have this program which is called RISP, and we think that why we should let people get, let's say, monthly or weekly aid to get some food or to get rent or something. Why we don't help them to get a job? Then they would can earn their money and dignity at the same time. So we have these people, we improve their CVs, we have the connection with the Turkish market, even the government, especially the agriculture ministry in Turkey, and we have these connections and connect them and follow up with them to get them to the jobs. And what is astonishing that when you are trying to get one in the job, so you are getting one family out of poverty to a dignity and dependency. So you are employing one of five, but this one will make the five of his family, will make them independent and
Hmm.
with full dignity. But you discovered that sometimes you will have some people who has some additional skills, and they will get from just one in the family who gets job, then they will get advanced to a business for themselves, and they will employ 25 others with them. So they are getting
Right.
with them 25 families, not on one family. And what is the cost? The cost is to invest in educating this man or this woman, having this connection, and this investment is in our employees in Turkey to have these kind of skills and connections to train it to guys and to connect them to the job and to follow up with them. By $300, you can get one family out of poverty to full dignity forever. or even more when someone of these employee or these people have some additional skills of business skills, they can get dozens with them out of poverty for $300, which
Yeah,
could help them live for 2 months mostly if we buy food baskets for them.
right. I think those are two great scenarios in how Syrian Forum USA um, actively utilizes your support, our general listeners and supporters of Syrian Forum USA, to empower, educate, and break the cycle of poverty. Are there any other examples that you'd like to share as well?
We have a lot if you have time.
Sure. For our listeners, why don't you share at least two more examples?
Yes. Uh, um, Many, let's say, one of our challenges with usually with many of donors when they want to donate, they would like, as I told you, many of them, and I respect them fully, that they want to donate directly to the food or directly to the blankets or directly to something very specific. But sometimes we are trying to let them know that maybe something like policy research, which you maybe think that this is very far away, far away from eating people, can help them. And it's very hard to convince someone that your zakat or your donation for a policy research center could help these needy people.
Right.
But we can give many examples, and one of these examples that we succeed in doing it, which done by our program Umran, which is Policy Research Center in Turkey. By their research, they could convince the Danish government to extend their uh, refugee program in their land. So, because of our research and our communication with Danish government in Europe, we could help hundreds of Syrians and other hundreds of Syrians to get extension or to get accepted to the Danish lands as refugees. Now, if you want to think about how much it will cost as money to to have people live in one of these countries, you cannot all the money of these individuals cannot help to give enough money as given by a government
Right.
to have these refugees. Now, this is one of our extreme examples that these kind of donations can help and can help very well in these kind of situations, which is our humanitarian crisis in Syria. I will tell you another one.
Thank you.
uh, maybe or you heard about you heard about uh, the the floods we got in Syria a few months ago,
Hmm.
and many people get hurt and their tents destroyed because of flood.
Yeah.
Yes, now there is a trend to have to build for these people a building from bricks, something solid to live in. Uh, and also in this example, we can have the money and buy these bricks and have people have workers who build these bricks for people and to live in it. Or we can have money and spend a little bit on marketing to get some big organizations like Al Hilal Ahmar Qatari to invest to bring donations from Qatar and spend on these buildings. So instead of taking 1,000 and build one one home for these families, we can take 5,000, $10,000 and spending in communicating with Al Hilal Ahmar Al Qatari in Qatar to let them bring donations for 1,000 building. and we succeed. We got this grant from Al Hilal Ahmar Qatari to build 1,000 building home for these people. And after that, we discovered after the Qatar Hilal Ahmar Qatari found that this project is very great. They decided to double their commitment to 2,000.
Wow.
And what is the investment?
Yeah.
It's maybe less than $10,000. In $10,000, you can build 10 homes, 11 homes, 12 homes,
Hmm.
15, no more. But in $12,000, when you invested in this way, in this engine, you can bring more than 2 million.
Right. Yeah. It's
So
leveraging
this
the
kind of example,
impact.
yeah.
Yeah.
So so I'm asking the donor in this way that where do you want to invest your money here? Your zakat. Do you want to invest your zakat 1,000 to build the building directly? If they insist, no problem, we can do this. But if they agree with us that we can invest it in this way, so we can bring a lot of money on table, which is lost, no one is using it to bring it to Syrian people, it's up to them. 1,000 can build 100 homes in our way, or can build one home in direct way.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing those examples, Hassan. The last thing I'll ask is for those who are interested in getting involved with Syrian Forum USA, they can find your website at SyrianForumUSA.org or on social media at Syrian Forum USA. What are the best ways that people can get involved with Syrian Forum USA?
Um, if they can follow us on social media. We are active on social media. They can follow our news and our stories in social media. We are in Ramadan. We have two Zooms every week, Sunday and Saturday. It's open, and we have direct stories from inside Syria and from the guys who's helping Syrians inside. We have direct and news stories about how we are helping people and how people think about our help. And also, they can communicate with me directly by email or by phone, and I will be very happy to speak to any of them about our work.
Fantastic. Hassan, thank you for sharing your journey, your story, and your commitment at Syrian Forum USA. Really enjoyed having an opportunity to chat with you, and I highly encourage people to find out more about Syrian Forum USA on their website, in our nonprofit directory, and really great to have an opportunity to speak with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Of course. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.